The McLeod RXT is one of the most streetable clutches available on the site, capable of holding an insane amount of power. In fact, upwards of 1,000 crank horsepower, fitting your 2008 through 2010 V8 HEMI Challengers and 2013 and newer V8 HEMI Challengers. Now, this particular combination does include the twin ceramic line discs, the RXT pressure plate, of course, along with the McLeod matching flywheel here in aluminum, and can be had all for right around that $1,600 to $1,700 price point. Now, if you guys didn't know, McLeod does offer a wide variety of clutch options for your Challenger here at AEM, and a lot of that really just boils down to your power holding capabilities, what you're gonna be doing with the car, and just overall application. Now, the one we are talking about here today is certainly one of the big dogs. It is the Twin Disc RXT, which is capable of holding upwards of 1,000 horsepower at the crank. And this particular option just so happens to be paired up with McLeod's matching aluminum flywheel. Flywheel is a nice little bonus in this case. It is pre-assembled right out of the box and ready to be installed. But in my opinion, this is gonna be for owners who are absolutely serious about tracking their Challengers, as opposed to the high horsepower daily drivers out there. Now, the reason I say all this is that because traditionally with a heavy car like the Challenger, the inertia of a heavier flywheel will be really beneficial in just getting the car moving off the line and doing so smoothly. Now, a lighter flywheel, such as the aluminum option here, absolutely gonna have its benefits for racing use. There's no denying that. It's gonna get through the car, get the car through the gears a bit faster. It's gonna reduce some mass overall, but they take a lot of RPM to get the car moving off the line. So at the end of the day, what I like to recommend is just make sure you check with your tuner or consult your builder on what clutch would be best for your setup, and also what flywheel would be best for your setup. But getting back to the RXT here, and just twin disc clutches in general, and these things are just really a modern marvel, because the beauty of a clutch like this is that you're getting unparalleled holding capabilities thanks to not one but two friction discs, but at the same time you're still maintaining a pedal feel that I would say is going to be very similar to stock, maybe just a bit heavier at the end of the day. Now, there are some drawbacks to twin disc clutches. You know, first and foremost, they can be a little noisier than a single disc clutch just due to the overall design. You got the floater plate in there, so you might hear this thing while the car's idling if your exhaust isn't terribly loud, of course. And then the second drawback is price, right? I mean, these things are not exactly on the cheap side, and there really does come with a, sort of trade-off here. When you're making this much power, there's not gonna be a whole lot of options out there for clutches. And if you are gonna make this much power, well then chances are you're gonna need to ball out on a clutch, because that power would be useless without being able to get it to the ground. And at that point, you do have a few different clutch options here on the site that are capable of holding this much power, and unfortunately, they are all pretty expensive. So those are really your two main drawbacks to a clutch such as this. But again, if you want to make the big power, you're gonna have to start making big purchases to make that power work, and a twin disc or 3-disc or 4-disc clutch is really gonna be the only way to roll. All right, moving into the specifics here, construction of the 26 spline RXT. You're gonna find twin discs here, are both comprised of that ceramic line friction material. It is separated by that floater plate that we mentioned earlier. Obviously, you got your bright red pressure plate on top, and then underneath you'll have the flywheel itself in aluminum. Now, the RXT does utilize that more aggressive ceramic compound, which can be a bit harder on the Tremec transmission when compared to the organic material found in McLeod's RST, which is basically a step below this particular clutch. So if you don't absolutely need the RXT and its 1,000 crank horsepower requirement, the RST would certainly be a great option as well. Now, the SFI certified flywheel is made from 6061 T6 aluminum and does have a replaceable steel ring gear, so if it ever should get damaged, you can replace that without having to replace the entire flywheel. Flywheel is gonna weigh in right around 15 pounds, give or take, which is gonna be roughly less than, I would say, half the weight of your cast iron stocker. So again, that's what we're talking about when shedding rotational mass. This will certainly help the engine work a little bit more efficiently when installed. Coming in at or around that $1,700 price point, the RXT flywheel and clutch combo here will certainly be expensive, as we mentioned earlier, but it's not going to be the most expensive out of the high horsepower clutch options on the site. For instance, you have the X Clutch or the Mantic, Those both will far exceed the cost of the McLeod here, but those are also even offered with more friction discs for even greater power holding capabilities. So again, if you're just making like all the power in the world, you might need to consider a Mantic or an X clutch. Those again will be a triple disc or a 4-disc clutch. If you're making at or around that 1,000 crank horsepower, this is going to be your best bet, especially going to be the most affordable at holding that kind of power. If you've never done it before or don't have access to a lift and a solid set of tools, you might want to leave this one up to your local shop. That's why the site's just going to call this a full 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you, I would say, about a half a day, 6 hours to get everything knocked out from start to finish. So wrapping this one up here, guys, again, if you are looking for a proven clutch for a high horsepower application that will maintain great pedal feel and excellent street ability, you have to consider the RXT and aluminum flywheel combo from McLeod, fitting your 2008 through 2010 V8 HEMI Challengers and 2013 and newer V8 HEMI Challengers. Available right here at AmericanMuscle.com.